Huge GC changes in this medium mountain punchy stage of the Tour de France Femmes avec Zwift today. Demi, Vollering, Kasia Niewiadoma, Marlon, Roy. So after the TT yesterday, didn't really need to do anything. They've got the yellow jersey for Roycer and a decent gap on Pauline Ferrand-Prévot for the other two, but we had two key climbs in the end of this 3,000 meter elevation stage. Col de Derbies, Montbrouilly, and they're irregular. There's steep parts of it. But in break formation, Park Peterson was having no breakaway allowed because this was a Cat 2. It was a soft Cat 2 at the start. So a lot of points on offer from, her just sprinting across and managing there being no break for the start. So Peters is looking very, very good for the QOM polka dot jersey. Fisher Black, nice move. No one joins her. And she gets caught on these highways in between these climbs where it's more her natural habitat. So it looked like the break was trying to form. Squibon, Valliers very active, Koch very active for FDJ United Suez, but it just wouldn't form. It was very hard, hot conditions. Break formation took a long time. Eventually at the QOM sprint, we didn't see exactly, but someone drops the wheel on the descent after Peterson stretched it after Fisher Black, and it stretched it. It was one peloton, bang, couple of corners, someone drops the wheel, Koch pushes it on the descent, break at 20. You don't know who's in it. Race radio, the live trackers, we're not saying who was in it. I mean, we can see Valliers, but for the those of you with an astute eye, you'll see an Antonia Niedermeyer on the left. You'll see a Femke de Vries and a Dominika Vladarczyk. Both of them were really hiding at the back of that group. Peloton's none the wiser. No one's pacing. They let it go. Still, on the live feed here, you got Vladarczyk's now named, but Niedermeyer and de Vries weren't named. They're on a minute 40, minute 45 on GC. Eventually, people know they're there. Trek start pacing, FDJ start managing the peloton. They get a bit of help from Ostiz in Movistar for Roycer. Squibon and Van Damme also pace a little bit for their GC leaders in that breakaway. But then Squibon attacks. So the commitment from UAE and Visma was less than one would think when you have riders potentially able to go into the yellow jersey if they stay away to the finish of this stage. But we get to the Col de Derbies and we think, oh, Music is pacing pretty hard. The gap's coming down. It's a group of maybe 15. Vladarczyk attacks, and we see this is really steep. The last K of Derby is really steep, and indeed, FDJ were running out of domestiques, but for the other GC contenders, reverse card, Vollering attacks with two teammates up the road. I didn't mention Berthet and Koch are in the break up ahead. Pauline Ferrand-Prévot is dropped on this punchy attack, as well as Blasi. Géry did a fantastic job. ELB starts to slide. Holmgren is just surviving. Roycer looking good in her characteristic seated style. The breakaway does survive in front, but only by about 30 seconds. And the problem for them is, although we'll get to them in a second, Rook, she's looking for her teammate Kerbel, who's dropped. And now this is like, she gets clipped by the motorbike as she swings across. Hopefully she was okay, but this is the battle of the satellite riders. Here's the break. Vladarczyk's trying to keep it going. Van Damme waits for Ferrand-Prévot, who's behind with Van der Breggen and I think Kerbel. Franziska Koch, though, she's ahead, and she's probably the best satellite rider you can hope for. We got a valley of 15 minutes before Montbrouilly or more, where the gap just gets ripped out to Ferrand-Prévot and to ELB's group. Like ELB, Blasi, they're here with Kim LeCour-Pinard. Squibon waits, but it's too late. They never come back. They're also on 40 seconds, and they would lose more time as well. There's a bony sprint for 6, 4, and 2 bonus seconds. Roycer takes the 6 seconds, but then Berthet, FDJ weren't done yet. She paces on Montbrouilly. Vollering attacks again. We've got Niewiadoma locked onto her wheel. Roycer looking pretty comfortable. And just like on the previous climb, it gets steeper near the end. It's 6% there, but then the last K, there's some steep sections. Vollering attacks, surges again. Niewiadoma looking good. Fisher Black, de Vries starting to struggle a little bit. Vollering goes a third time, and she drops everybody else. Holmgren the fourth last to follow, but then Vladarczyk's dropped. Niewiadoma counters her. I found that quite interesting. Niewiadoma obviously feeling very, very good. We'll see how she goes on Von 2, but Vollering crosses the top, and I've got an extended shot here. Huge gap. That third attack really dropped everybody else. They pressure Roycer on the descent. Roycer was nearly getting dropped. Just managed. She's Going to ask for a drink in a second. Ferrand Prévot, she's gone. She would lose nearly 3 minutes. And here you see Royce are asking for a drink. She can't get one because it's under, I think, 10 Ks to go. But is that a sign? Is that a sign that she was struggling? Because she misses this corner here not far after. She asking for a drink again. She's maybe apologizing to the ones behind her because she nearly crashed. But how does Niewiadoma win? She's in a tricky situation. Flat finish. The other two are much faster and bigger than her, so they have more watts in the sprint. And she does it perfectly. She jumps and she nearly wins because of the game of chicken here between Vollering and Royce, very similar to when Nguyen attacked in Dwars-de-Vlaanderen, and these two looked at each other for a little bit. But Vollering responds, Royce gets to the wheel, Vollering at 100 meters to go is in the slipstream, slingshots out of it at 50 meters to go and wins the stage ahead of Royce. Big GC gaps, Niewiadoma third, Vladarchik fourth on 45 seconds with Holmgren and Niedermeyer, Ninka Vinke, De Vries, De Jong and Fischer-Black on a group of about 1:12. Here's what Vollering had to say.
It was just a really cool race, you know, like the whole team, like every single rider of the team was part of it. And I enjoyed those victories the most. When everybody put their hard work in it, it's even more special and beautiful because you do it really all together. And I think also like the way how I managed to win that sprint, but it was just, I thought I was not going to make it anymore and I somehow made it. So I think it was just really like a relief after the finish line.
When Kasia tried to anticipate the sprint, what happened? What did you think?
I knew Kasia would go early because she always does. And I knew Marlon would gamble, so I let her gamble a bit to try to make her work, but she didn't. And then I was like, okay, then if we don't do anything, then Kasia's gonna win, so then I don't even try. So I was like, okay, I just have to try. And maybe Marlon come over me, but then at least I tried. So I just gave it my everything until the line. It was a very long sprint, and I needed every single meter on that last finish straight. But I managed to do it, so I'm very happy about that.
In terms of GC, the gaps are even bigger now, but not between Royce and Vollering. That actually narrowed. Vollering now only 12 seconds behind Royce. We've got the Von 2 coming up on Friday. Niewiadoma in third with a big gap to fourth. So the podium looks pretty locked between those three. But can UAE try something? They've got 3 in the top 10. Great stage today. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you with the recap tomorrow. Ciao, ciao.